have fuzz in my mouth. Hey guys, my name is Bethany. I'm the girl behind Well Loved Knits, and today I'm going to show you how to take a basic cardigan and add on some really cute finishing touches like a winged collar and some pockets. So the inspiration I'm going for would be something similar to Instagram accounts like I'd Knit That or Shop I Feel So Cool, two of which are small businesses that I think really do a good job showcasing really cozy, really nice, oversized, fun looking cardigans. But at the same time, those are not necessarily my style. Some of them are really loud colors, and so to really bring it into my color palette, I am going to mix it with another cardigan that I have seen and really loved lately from a brand I think is called Toast. Honestly, I just saw it advertised to me on Instagram, and yeah, it's definitely my style, so I want to recreate it for myself. So that brings us to the making of the base of this cardigan, which I designed with the help of the knitting app Bellish. If you haven't already heard about Bellish, I have worked with them before and I really love the concept. It's an app currently available for iOS users in which you can design your own patterns to your own personal style. If you're an Android user, just know that Bellish is working on an app that's compatible to you, but in the meantime, you can access over 1,000 knitting patterns or something like that on their website. And I think the team is creating content weekly so that there's always new knitting inspiration available to you there. For this particular project, I was looking for a cardigan pattern, and I was able to select the fit, the length, and the stitches used in the pattern. I opted for a stockinette stitch, but there are so many different options to choose from. And then from there, I followed all of the steps of the pattern to knit the body and the sleeves. So to knit this cardigan, I used We Are Knitters Petite Wool in Forest Green, which I actually showed in my last knitting podcast episode. And this yarn is a worsted weight yarn that's recommended to use 8mm needles. So it's a little thicker than the yarns that are actually recommended for the patterns that Bellish generates. But I knew that since I wanted that oversized look compared to my inspiration photos, I decided to knit a small size with chunkier needles, and in that way I knew that the final product was going to be that nice oversized fit that I was looking for. Going back to my inspiration photos, the one that I'm really leaning into for this project, we've got the fit of the oversized sweaters from Instagram that I was mentioning, but the style for the collar, I really want to lean into this cardigan right here. This is from Toast. I really can't tell because the quality of the image isn't so good, but it kind of looks like to me that the collar is knit in garter stitch, maybe. Or it's knit in rib, but just in an opposite direction, but we can still create that effect using garter stitch. So that's definitely what I'm gonna do for the collar. And then for the pockets, what I'm thinking is just like a simple stockinette pocket. We'll see if I do the 2x2 rib at the top. I kind of think that that will just be too much ribbing in general on this piece, but I think it's gonna be really cute. So what I need to do now is add the ribbing on the side. I think I'm gonna start with that, and then we're gonna go into picking up stitches for the collar and then knitting on the pockets. So now I picked up all of the stitches around the opening for the collar. It's a lot of stitches. And we have to work back and forth. So, a couple of design features that I'm thinking for this collar. This isn't a weird angle. Okay, so a couple of design features I'm thinking for this collar. It's important to keep in mind if you're doing a stitch that's, if you want a certain side of a stitch, you need to really be thinking about what is the final product going to look like. Since this is going to be a folded collar, intuitively, if I wanted a knit stitch to be on the edges, which I do, I want about 3 knit stitches on the edge. But I need to think about it before I start knitting, because if I knit into the first 3 stitches, eventually the collar as it grows is going to fold over, so the inside will actually be shown on the outside. So for my first stitches, I actually want to purl them because, yeah, I have to think, do I? Basically what I was trying to explain here is that it's important to keep in mind that a folded collar will have the right side facing in towards you, so you need to adjust accordingly. Since I wanted knit stitches on the corners as part of the design, I started with the stitch that would give me that effect. So as I worked back and forth, I knit the first and last 3 stitches of each round in stockinette stitch, and the rest I worked in garter stitch, which is just so nice. Sometimes I forget how nice it is to work in garter stitch and how much I enjoy it. Then on every 6th row, which was my right side, I made an increase just after and before the knit stitches. So at the start of the round, I knit the first 3 stitches, then I made 1 left, knit across the entire row until I had 3 stitches remaining, then made 1 right, and knit the last 3 stitches. I continued in that pattern until the collar reached a length I was happy with, and then I cast off. Next it was time to work the pockets, and I'll be honest with you, I've never made a pocket before, so I was tackling this one instinctively and kind of just going with the flow. So I can't really say if this is the best or the right way to do it, but sometimes you just need to give it a try and see if it works out. What I personally did was identify where I wanted my pockets to sit, and then I picked up stitches with a scrap piece of yarn. I cut the scrap yarn, and then with a new yarn, I worked back and forth in stockinette stitch, starting with a wrong side row, and then I secured in my ends later. This created a little flap, which I then attached at the sides using vertical seaming technique to form a little pocket. I actually wish I went for the ribbing in the end, because maybe that would have prevented the drooping that's happening in the middle. But the good news is that I can always rip it off and easily start over later. And this is how the final cardigan turned out. Overall, those were 2 small and relatively easy additions to this very great basic cardigan pattern by Bellish. The result is something super cozy and stylish that I know I'll get a lot of wear out of this season. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I will certainly enjoy the final result for a very long time. I want to say a huge thanks again to Bellish for supporting the channel, and I hope you guys go check out the app. If you knit a cardigan for yourself, be sure to tag me. I would really love to see it. As always, thank you so much for watching and for being here, for liking and subscribing for more knitting and DIY content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!